Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me here today as we get to talk about one of my favorite subjects, comic books. And we are in Inktober. So, we're doing black and whites, and we're going to be looking at Holy Terror from Frank Miller, one of the worst things this guy has ever done. And even his ardent fans and it has, all right. First of all, if you want to follow me on social media, feel free. Links are in the description below. So this is just this is bad on so many things, and so Frank Miller. This was supposed to be a Batman story, and I got this book for like $3 at a used bookstore. This thing is just terrible, but we're gonna go over it. It's a nice widescreen um, book here. So it is Frank Miller's. It's between Sin City style and his new style. This is from what year? 20 2011. Yeah, 2011. He says this was his answer to 9/11, but it was like 10 years later. So really, did you have all these things just still in there? Um and so this is supposed to be like New York, and so all right, here we go. So we're looking at this because we're looking at black and white, and we're looking at Frank Miller. So that's supposed to be Catwoman, but it isn't. So it's supposed to be basically Batman chasing Catwoman. So um, and so she's going through the rooftops, and he's going after her, and like 10 pages of story, and nothing has happened here. So she stole a diamond bracelet, and the Batman character is after her. So, um, most of you know, I have done two videos on Frank Miller's new art. This isn't gonna be a commentary on that. I have covered his Ronin book two, and so anyway, here it's just this language of his, "You're busted, girl," and so kicks him in the nuts here and punches him. So DC even passed on this, so they're like, yeah, no, this I'm not we're not doing this book. So even DC was like, nope. And so we're doing this month of October. I'm trying to do a black and white book each day, and Frank Miller just has so many of them. So all right, and so it's raining, so that's what all these things are for. So and what we're gonna have here, I think, is we're going to have an explosion, like a terrorist attack here. Look at this. Make me sick now. I sure will. Godly. So I get, while we kind of go through this, I'm always, a lot of people don't like the fact that I don't really care for Frank Miller's new stuff. Here's the explosion where, things go haywire. And so this is supposed to be like a 9/11 type thing. And so, anyway, I just am not a huge fan. I think his art, and I understand artists evolve, but I've always felt like Frank Miller is devolving. So this city's called Empire City, so it's definitely supposed to be New York. Instead of an evil that there's some kind of evolution for Frank Miller, it's like he's devolving, and I don't know. So I'm just not really a big fan of his new stuff. Just about anything that's not 80s and 90s, I really don't care much for it. But this particular piece here, Holy Terror, is generally regarded as his absolute worst thing that he's ever done, and that's saying a lot because this man since did so many bad stories. The fact that they would think that this is it's because probably they had the Islamic thing is the main thing. He says he was on drugs during this time, yada yada yada. Does this look like a building to you, people? Kind of, if you squint your eyes, it's supposed to be a building, and then a shoe's supposed to be in the foreground, because there's a shoe, so the shoe's supposed to be in front of me, but I don't know. This looks like chicken scratch, and this motherfucker actually got paid for this, so stealing money. Anyway, so this was gonna get him banned from like some convention. Some conventions were not going to put him on because whatever, whatever. But it's freedom of speech until but it's not freedom of consequences. But Frank Miller's always been pushing the envelope. So, um, this thing is so well drawn. I would ban him from just because of how he draws. I don't like this style. I do not like it. So, yeah, I can see why DC's like, yeah, we're not doing Batman thing. So, so he basically did this instead, and it sold. It sold because it's Frank Miller, and people still are waiting. I mean, look at this. This thing is just terrible, and people are, they still remember. This I like, by the way. This I like. That's cool. People still remember Daredevil, and people still remember the first issue or the first volume of Sin City. But um, I don't know. It's I I certainly hated his. He did 3 pages of Deadpool Batman, and I went off for like 15 minutes. But you know, whatever. If people really want to think that his art is evolving, then okay, that's your opinion. But so Obama, Biden, Hillary Clinton, is this Gaddafi? And this is supposed to be Osama bin Laden. So anyway, I really don't have a commentary on this thing except that I really don't care about his art, but we're doing this black and white thing, and I'm not gonna really read this because it really is terrible. It's a terrible story. It just, even if you take all the other stuff away, it's just, this guy hasn't written anything worth reading in years. So I think Sin City, the third volume, was the last good thing he ever wrote. Um, oh, looks like we got a little bit of red in here. Oh my gosh, silly, silly, silly. Happy Inktober, everyone. So if you've never seen it, now you can say, "Hey, I saw this thing." If you really are a true Frank Miller fan, and there's this group on Facebook that you just cannot say anything bad about him. But if you're a really big fan of Frank Miller, by all means, but look for a cheap. Find it in a used bookstore or something. So, yep, there it is. So, anyway, so there it is. Frank Miller with Holy Terror. Um, yeah, I really don't have much to say. But anyway, like the video at least. So even if you go, God, I cannot believe he showed us Frank Miller again. That's all right. It's all right. I'll take a like though for the video, even if you disliked this thing. So um, as always, thanks for listening. Goodbye.